Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Andy here. Today I thought we'd have a little look of about a cycling racetrack here in St Neots, and it's in fact at the Priory Park. I bet you didn't know that, did you? As you can see, the grass here is not green, it is actually yellow because we haven't had any rain for, I think, nearly 2 months. And yeah, it seems to be getting worse. Look at that, so yellow. So here, there used to be a cycle track, and the guy who owned it actually used to live just over there. I know we're having a really hot summer, but it's hard to believe it's still August. I mean, the weather's nice, it should be in August anyway, but we shouldn't be having dead leaves everywhere. The trees are shedding their leaves like anything, and they say because it's been too hot for them and they're trying to save their energy. That's what I've been told. So if you're wondering, Andy, what are you doing here in a wood? Well, actually, years ago, this wasn't a wood, actually. This was where Priory Hill House used to be, and that was owned by the Roelly family way back in the last century. And if you're not quite sure where that is, actually behind me is Priory Hill Road. So this is Priory Hill Road. If you go that way, you head towards the railway station, and if you go this way, that way you go towards Paxton. Now, I don't know if you remember, I did a video about the tunnels, and let me just show you something. Now, it must have been about 3 or 4 years ago, I did a thing about the tunnels, and the entrance to one of the tunnels, well, we thought was one of the tunnels, was actually down here, but they've filled it all in. And so I gather it was originally an entrance to an ice cellar, so at the Priory Hill house. So the Roelly family actually owned the house that was here, and there's a photograph of it here, so you can see. I mean, it's long gone now. I think it's demolished in the 60s. And they had this in 1790, and well, a few generations later, in 1890, one of the Roelly families decided that he liked racing bicycles. So he decided to make a racetrack here on Priory Park. 1890, GF Roelly decided to build this cycling cinder track, and it was here. Now, he was also the president of the St Neots Cycling Club as well, so they were allowed to use it as well. And how do I know there used to be a one here? Well, here's like a map actually from, I don't know, from last century, just saying cycle track, as you can see. Also, if you actually go onto Google Maps, you can actually see an outline of the race track here. I will take a drone up, but the thing is, I forgot to charge it. But anyway, Google Maps shows you it and you see where it is. Now, on the long ends, there was a embankment, and you could actually see it. It's actually still here. Now, I don't know if you can see it actually, but as the sun is quite low, you can see a shadow of it. Of course, the embankment was a lot higher back then, but as you can see it just here. So this is it here. I don't know if you can see the shadow here. It goes up here and down over here. And I should think way back then it was probably up here, something like that. And I say it was a cinder track, and it's 440 yards long. and it goes all the way and all the way round like that. And the actual first race was in 1895. So I'm actually on top of the mound here now, and I'd say I suppose it raises at the moment probably around about 1.5 feet, but I think it was probably like maybe 3 to 4 feet going up here. And yeah, and it's also the same at the far end over there as well. It was a Saturday, June the 8th, 1895, as I said earlier, was the day of the first race. And in fact, the last race here was in 1907. And then there's no record of any races here at all until 1949. And then I think it ran for a few more years, and then that was it. Now, of course, Priory Park now is open to the public. I think it belongs to the council. A lot of people play football on it, and it's actually quite well used. So while I'm walking across the the track here, just to remind you, welcome to the channel, as Andy here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And if you're watching on TikTok, don't forget to follow and all that. Don't forget to like, to share. I don't mind. Leave a comment. That'll be absolutely great. Right, we're right across the other side now, and this is the other embankment at the other end. The embankment of the other end. In fact, this one's a little bit higher actually, so I'm going up it and down. I say this side at the moment is around about 2 feet. So as I say, we're probably around about 3 foot when it was 3.5 feet maybe when it was originally done. So it was a cinder track, racing their bikes along here, and some people tell me they race their motorbikes here as well, but I don't know about that. I know it's like a push bike race because Mr. Roelly was really into bicycle racing and all that. So it's quite interesting. Who would have thought there was a racetrack here in St Neots in the Priory Park? Who would have thought that? So I mentioned in 1949 was probably when it all started up again, in fact, and it was August the 29th. And over 2,000 people were here watching it, and there were 69 cyclists, and it's also made like a racetrack as well, and there was 183 athletes here as well. So it was well used way back then. That's going back, what, 80 odd years. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the little history lesson I've given you this time at the Priory Park here in St Neots. Thanks very much for watching. As I said earlier, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And if you're watching on TikTok, don't forget to follow, don't forget to share and all that. That'd be absolutely great. So this is Andy saying thanks very much for watching. Catch you a little bit later. I'll say bye for now. Bye-bye.